Okay, so get this. We're looking at a Chinese weapon that, well, it uses microwaves.
Microwaves, really?
Yeah, it's not like your kitchen appliance, though.
Right, like a death ray or something?
Yeah, kind of like in those sci-fi movies, but
Wow.
real and way more unsettling.
This is some serious stuff.
It's all in these reports from, let me see, pasted text.
Pasted text. Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're usually pretty reliable, and what they're saying here is, well, it's got some experts worried.
I bet.
Yeah, so we're going to deep dive into this whole thing today.
Sounds good.
Figure out how this thing works, why China's building it, and what it means, for all of us.
What it could mean for the future of warfare. Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the big thing here is that China's been pretty upfront about wanting to, kind of shake things up.
Challenge the status quo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're really focused on the Pacific, where things are already pretty tense.
A lot of friction there, yeah.
And this weapon, this microwave weapon, it seems like it's a big part of that strategy.
Because it can disrupt communications and intelligence gathering. That's really the key here.
So we're not talking about like blowing things up. It's more about kind of blinding the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. Think of it as electronic warfare, disrupting the enemy's ability to see and communicate.
Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, how do you make a microwave powerful enough to do that kind of damage from far away?
Well, it's not like just sticking a giant magnetron on a tank or something.
Right. My microwave could barely heat up a burrito sometimes.
Right. Well, this is where it gets interesting. The Chinese are using something called a Stirling engine.
A Stirling engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this really efficient engine that they've adapted to generate high-power microwaves, or HPMs as they're called.
Okay. And how efficient are we talking?
Well, according to the reports, it's something like 96.6% efficient.
Wait, 96.6%? Are you serious?
That's what they're claiming?
That's insane.
Wait, my car isn't even that efficient.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
That kind of efficiency means they can generate a lot of power in a relatively small package. So smaller, more powerful, maybe even mobile. That's not good.
No, not really. And then this isn't just some, backroom project. This was developed at the National University of Defense Technology in Changsha.
So this is top-level stuff.
Absolutely. This is a major priority for the Chinese military.
And they're not shy about who they might use this thing on, right?
Right. The report specifically mentioned drones, military aircraft, and even satellites.
Satellites.
Yeah.
Wow. So this thing could reach into space.
That seems to be the implication. Satellites are crucial for everything these days. Communications, navigation, intelligence, you name it. Imagine trying to fight a war when you suddenly can't talk to your troops. Your planes are flying blind and you have no idea what the enemy is doing.
That's a scary thought.
It is. And it gets even more complicated when you consider the Starlink factor.
Starlink.
Yeah.
Elon Musk's internet satellite.
Exactly. It seems China sees Starlink as a direct threat, both commercially and militarily.
Makes sense. I mean, thousands of satellites beaming internet down from space?
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Huge. And it's not just about providing internet access. It's about control of information and communication.
Right. So how does China plan to counter Starlink?
Well, there are reports that Nanjing University of Aeronautics and Astronautics is working on a fleet of 99 satellites.
99 satellites. Just to target Starlink.
Potentially, yeah. The goal seems to be to track and possibly disable up to 1,200 Starlink satellites within 12 hours.
Okay, that sounds a little far-fetched, I gotta say.
It does sound ambitious, but here's where it gets really strange.
I've been listening.
Yeah.
What could be stranger than a space laser battle with Elon Musk?
Whales.
Whales. What do whales have to do with this?
Apparently, Chinese researchers have been studying how whales communicate underwater over long distances.
Okay. Interesting, but I don't see the connection.
Well, they believe that by understanding the biological principles of whale communication, they can improve the targeting and tracking capabilities of their anti-satellite systems.
So they're taking inspiration from nature to build a space weapon. It's kind of poetic in a terrifying way.
It does make you think, and it underscores the fact that this isn't just a China-US issue. This technology could change the entire landscape of warfare.
It's a global problem then.
Absolutely. And it raises some serious questions about the future of warfare and global security.
So to sum it all up, we have a potentially game-changing weapon that can take out anything from drones to satellites. It's being developed by a country that wants to reshape the global order, and it's inspired by whales.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a lot to take in.
It is. It really is. So
Right.
where does this leave us? What should we be thinking about?
Well, I think the big question is, how do we even begin to regulate something like this?
Yeah, it's not like you can just ban microwaves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This technology has so much potential for both good and bad. And we need to figure out how to control it before it controls us.
And what about the unintended consequences? I mean, who knows what kind of ripple effects this could have?
That's a huge concern. This is new territory, and we're just starting to grasp the implications. I think we need to proceed with a lot of caution and a lot of open dialogue. This isn't something any one country can solve on its own.
Absolutely. Well said. So there you have it, folks. A new kind of arms race,
Yeah.
maybe even a space race. And it's all thanks to a microwave powered by a super efficient engine and inspired by whales. Who would have thought?
It's a strange world we live in.
That it is.
That it is, and only getting stranger.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it develops. In the meantime, stay informed, stay curious, and as always, thanks for listening.